Morning. Today we're looking at Sylvan pontoons. We're going to do a quick little look through. Plenty of different models. Today this one happens to be a L1 Party Fish. Starting up front here from the bow forward, all the seating on most of them is the same. Lounge seating. There's storage underneath all the seats. All plastic bases, self-draining. Cup holders recessed behind there. Table is removable. Top pops off. Post unthreads from the floor. Always recommend storing table when traveling if you're trailering it. Good spot to do that is right here underneath the helm. Plenty of storage. This one has a changing room. Gas hinges that hold it up. Undo that snap. Pull the curtain out. Zipper over here. In reverse, store it away. Tuck that in there. Hold that down. Re-snap it. Shut the door. Turn the handle to latch it. Back here at the helm, this captain's chair has a lever on the side here to recline it. Up front here, there's two levers, one to unlock it when it's in the lock position, and one to let it slide forward and backward. Tilt steering on this model, comfort for everyone. Not all the gauges and accessory switches will be the same on every model. This one happens to have a master power switch. At the end of the day, if you shut that off, it kills anything you left on. If you left the docking lights on, the nav lights on, it'll make sure your battery is not dead next time you come back out. This one has a kicker sound system, 4 speakers, really nice system. On your throttle and shift lever here, you see this trim switch. This trims your motor up and down, not only when you're in shallow water or coming up to a dock, but for performance as well. When you're out underway, by trimming up the motor, it'll lift the front of the pontoon, it'll be a smoother ride, and you'll get better performance. And it depends on how many people are on the boat and where they're sitting to how that reacts. Ideally, if people are spaced out in the boat, you'll get a much better ride and better performance as opposed to everyone sitting up front or everyone sitting in the back. You have a 12-volt accessory plug for a cell phone charger, or you have a USB plug also for charging. This plug is not for inputting music into your speaker or through your radio, but just for charging. But the radio itself is Bluetooth, so you can sync your phone to it by going through your manual for your stereo. This has 4 gauges, 2 actual gauges, but 4 things, 2 in each one. One is your speedometer. This happens to be a GPS speedometer, so some of them run off the motor. This one actually has a GPS puck and does it off satellite, so it's going to be a little more accurate. And then you have a voltage gauge underneath that. That's going to let you know, make sure your battery's charging, and if you're out there with the motor not running, listening to the radio, you want to make sure you don't let it get too low so that your motor will still start and you'll be able to get back home. This side, you have your RPM gauge and your fuel gauge. Now, depending on the motor, your RPMs should peak between 5 and 6,000 RPMs, and that'll be where you're going to get your best performance. I guess you do have one more gauge over here. That's your trim gauge, and that's going to show you the position of the motor. On most pontoons, you can trim it up about 3/4 of the way when you're in shallow water and still be taking on water for the cooling system of the motor. The different switches, you have your horn, your radio, bilge pump for the live well, which when you turn that on, it kicks a pump on that sucks up lake water. Then it pumps it into your live well here. This little fitting right here, you can turn that right down and it pretty much shuts the water right off. The farther it's open, the faster the water is going to come out. On this side, there's a drain. You just unthread this and that'll drain the live well at the end of the day. This little compartment has tackle boxes, your rod holders here, and then your rod locker storage on this model is right there. And that's a lockable storage box. These two fishing seats swivel and also lock in position. If you don't need the seating, the kids are using the ladder swimming, these can be removed and left at the dock if you wanted to have more of an aisleway here. Your ladder, stainless steel telescoping ladder, clips into position. When it's folded down, it extends down into the water a few feet, so it's easy to climb in and out. On this model here, the gas fill is back here. On all of our boats, we recommend wreck fuel for the longevity of the motor. You also have two more rod holders here for when you're actually fishing. Next, we have the Bimini. Biminis are always a little different on different models. This year on the Sylvans, they went to a nice clip, easy to use, easy to adjust. Unzip your boot, hold it forward, then all you do is adjust this leg down to that hole, click it in. If this isn't tight enough, or down the road once it breaks in a little, you can tighten it up by pushing in and clicking it in like that. It's zipped on, 4 zippers. Down the road, if you want to clean it, it's easy to remove, wash, and put back on. And then in reverse, just give this a little bump. A little bump. Wrong way, my bad. Fold it back up. Put your boot back on. Well, this has been a Sylvan pontoon. Again, we have plenty of models, and this hopefully give you an idea of how to operate your new boat.